Yes. Welcome back to Knight Stadium in Fayetteville, Tennessee. It's a third quarter kickoff. The Warriors receive it. 26-0 Bowling Green leading as Gage Holman goes on the right side. It'll be pulled out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. It's been a one-sided game for the Warriors so far, unfortunately. Riverside just having some struggles on offense. Hopefully they'll be able to pick it up going into the rest of the game. But the Warriors also hopeful to end their season with a 3-game win streak. Fortunately, just falling short, unable to make even the bowl game this year. And of course, Tanner, you think, Trent, that they're going to be able to go potentially all the way next season. You think they're going to be a dominant force in the MTAC, whether that be in the North or depending on what division or league they're put in next year. But you think they're going to be a dominant force next year?
Well, mark my words, they're at least going to be in a bowl game next year. If not, #1 seed.
That'll be very good to see if they decide to, or if they revamp and potentially get into at least the bowl game. That'll be good for them to go from that. Almost how FCS almost had that story this season. They were close to making the bowl game this year, as opposed to they played Hendersonville in a non-mattering game as an incomplete pass by Brown.
Oh, sorry about that.
Goes to second down.
Brown looking for stock on the pass. The ball's incomplete. Second 10.
Cold day.
It is a very cold day here in Fayetteville.
Hypothermia yesterday.
I'm pretty sure both of us may get hypothermia from this. Who knows? But hey, shivering is the best way to lose weight if you didn't already know.
Saying something?
As Holman across the middle. Gage Holman with a big collision. Still able to stand on his feet there and get the first down.
I don't know how he stayed up after that hit.
Man, that was a big hit. It almost looked like helmet-to-helmet contact.
Which Bowling Green is not happy, but they know about the concussion, especially with a doctor as your head coach.
Yeah, that's one of the big things I'm sure that Don Brown has emphasized with the Warriors. Dr. Don Brown or Doc Brown. Or, you know, Dr. Don, Dr. Don, or call you in a favor from the Don, who knows. It's 1st and 10 here from the Warriors. If he watched this or his film guy picks up our audio, it's going to be a long off season for us. There's a flag here and likely delay of game on the offense.
Well, wipes out.
For those of you who didn't see off camera, Trent had 2 coins in his hand. He's like, all right, let me flip this for Webb. And the coin fell off of the table and off of the press box. And with that decision, Webb is out. I wonder what would happen if MTAC were to have a coin land on its side. Like in that coin toss thing.
They coin flip that.
They coin flip for it or something along those lines. As Brown is tripped up in the backfield.
Couldn't scramble that time. Defensive line must have got some stern talking to.
Sure that Coach Creasy talked to him in the locker room.
Way behind the line of scrimmage.
As it's about 2nd and 30, it looks like. Second and very long here. Actually, more like 2nd and 25, it looks like here, as the Warriors are still on offense. A big sack for them.
Now, I'm going to get Gage the ball because he's in Gage or sorry, Spencer. Sorry.
It was trending while he gets all the gas out of his system. It's a rush on the left side for Tanner Brown. He gets back to the 20-yard line. You said it right, Trent. Unfortunately, terrible film work there.
No, that was me. I
was
okay. Sky. Look at the trees.
Yeah, if you could see the trees on that camera, you know, there's some good trees here in Fayetteville. As we're under 10 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
looks like, did they get any yards or did they lose yards on that play?
It looked like they may have gained a few yards on the play there. I'm not sure. It actually looked like it was about a 4-yard gain, but it's still 3rd down and long for the Warriors. This may be unless they can make it here, this may be the first time they'd be forced to punt it because they have not punted it so far in this game. Flea flicker by Holman, intercepted! Intercepted, and it looks like Riverside is going to go for a pick 6. Touchdown, Knights.
Now, I've said it before. I've said it plenty of times before. If you're a quarterback, you cannot just throw it away when pressure's coming. That's one thing you can't do. And he did it, and that's just a prime example of the reason why I say it so much.
Let's see, that was an interception. It looks like the Riverside roster doesn't have 7 on here, so we'll probably get that in just a moment there. Crutcher Ezell got the interception there. No, pick 6 for Crutcher Ezell to keep the hopes of no mercy rule enacted alive as Riverside gets another score there. And here's 2-point conversion attempt, and it'll be run up the middle. 2-point conversion is good. Rush up the middle by Adam Hamilton. It's now 26-8 with 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The Warriors still lead, but Riverside gets their first score.
Yeah, and don't count Riverside out yet. You know, they still have 5. I mean, they beat Hendersonville, and Bowling Green has also beat Hendersonville, but you can't count them out because for me, it's whatever guys has the most heart in the game is the people that are going to win it.
You know, I think we may have gotten news that one of the North teams dropped out of the bowl. So Bowling Green might be in the bowl game. Who knows?
Really? Don't play that card.
The day after the bowl game happens, Lighthouse decides they're not participating in it.
The bowl game's already been played.
Exactly.
I believe you for a second.
We thought it was originally scheduled to be the day before the championship, though. That's when the bowl game was going to be played. But they changed it because Suwannee was the host of the game, and they don't have lights, so they had to push it back early. And
sadly, we couldn't, broadcast that game. Yeah, which I'm sure a lot of parents would have been happy to see.
Yeah, and here's a rush on the right side. There's Gage Holman going to be out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So the Warriors get back on offense. But, yeah, we were hoping to broadcast that bowl game but couldn't make it down there, though we heard it was a heck of a ball game between the Battle of the Lions, essentially. The Suwannee ones, of course, the Mountain Lions. But it was a battle between those 2 franchises, and they gave a good run for their money in the MTAC Bowl.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been an exciting game if we would have been able to watch it. I'm sure a lot of Suwannee fans would have loved if we broadcasted it. But, good job, Coach Hargis. You had a wonderful season.
Yeah, Hargis, they had a good season getting the MTAC Bowl. And the only reason they were not in the playoffs, of course, due to the coin toss. Yep.
Because of gravity.
Yeah. And here's a rush on the left side. There's a Bard to the 42-yard line. The Warriors with a huge gain on offense.
Spencer's just someone you can count on every play. He's going to be a part of it no matter if it's blocking, catching the ball, or running it. And he's going to give you 100% every single time he does it.
So 8.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. It's an 18-point lead for Bowling Green Christian Academy. Their long travel down here from Bowling Green, Kentucky on a Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
It's 1st and 10. Brown hands it off to Holman. Holman finds an opening up the middle, staying on his feet. Gain of about 9 yards on the play. 2nd down and 1. Gage Holman with the rush.
I would say so. Not say so. I would say that Riverside's actually holding Gage pretty well right now, because I know Gage against other opponents, he's just running all over him, adding up on the box score. But as much as he's been producing, he's not producing as much as he can.
2nd down and 1 here for the Warriors. Here's handed off again. Holman. Brown trying to push Holman up there. There's a loss of several yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Bowling Green's lineman ain't as big as Riverside's D line, so it's gonna be hard to push up against that.
With players like like 77, Colton Thorne just pushing through the offensive line. It's hard to be able to combat with that force.
True.
I agree.
It's like about 3rd down and 4. It's a loss of a few yards on the play for the Warriors. Here's Brown deep in the shotgun, tosses it on the left side. Incomplete, intended for Baird.
Brown looking for Baird. Pass falls incomplete.
That at least stops the clock, and the Warriors likely to go for it here.
Someone you haven't seen really a lot so far is Stock. You know, they're trying to get him the ball, but you know he just hasn't been able to produce. And Tanner Heen's put that on there. I know he got rushed pretty hard and didn't have that much time as usual to get the ball out there, but it needs to be on point.
Here's one of the trick plays, but a timeout called by the Warriors, even though it looked like they were going to try their trick play there, and they can't pull that now, as would seem. The timeout called by the Warriors with 6:42 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
I know it was going to happen.
You want to say what was going to happen on that?
Center's going to go out for a pass, or Spencer's going to go out for a pass.
Could easily been. 6:42 left in the 3rd quarter. It's a 26-8 lead for Bowling Green Christian over Riverside Christian.
He's done a wonderful job keeping it maintained.
18 minutes and 42 seconds left of regulation.
Please, Brian Hunt.
Play resuming after the timeout, 4th and 4. Warriors trying to get a 1st down. Motion. Ball snapped. Brown looking for the pass. Toss on the left side, deep, intended for Baird. Diving catch intended for Stock. Incomplete. Went right through his hands. 1st and 10 for Riverside.
Ball's incomplete. Ball goes over on down.
Good job. Walk that way.
1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
First and 10 for Riverside.
That's not true.
Well snapped. Here's Hall up the middle. Got about 6. Still pushing through to get about an 8-yard gain on the play. It's 2nd down and 2.
Keeps it, fights hard for about 7.
Riley Hall plowing through the defensive line.
Oh no. At first I thought it was Dane. Timmy has a lot of stuff. I thought it was Dane unless because Dane, you can't do that.
Ball snapped. Hall in the shotgun is just going to take the rush. Hall failed to wrap up tackle, and Hall's going to push through for the 1st down and a little bit more.
Like a train, just keeps it going, you know.
Keeps it again and finds
Riley Hall just freighting on through the defensive line. It's a 1st down at midfield.
The one thing that we haven't seen, we've seen a whole heck of a lot of Hall, but we haven't seen a lot of Trahan.
And Trahan, unfortunately, has not performed as much tonight as many would anticipate him.
Because Creasy's talked to Trahan, talked to him about letting Hall get a lot more touches tonight, being that Hall's their future. And you know, Trahan, this is maybe his last ride, and Trahan might have done the senior thing and just, you know, letting the up-and-coming guys get the touches.
It's possible as Trahan. Trahan is actually a junior, So he's not. Yeah, he's a junior. He's not a senior. So it might be some
James
other.
must have been wrong because James told me he was a senior.
Unless, of course, Max Preps is wrong in that regard, but who knows? Looking on Max Preps, John Trahan is a junior. That's what I had on the stat sheet here, Trent, but you know.
Probably is.
So he's got one more year in him. So yeah. So it wasn't a senior thing. So it might not be a senior thing. It may have just been another potential reason for that. And we may talk to Creasy about that as Klein going through gets a gain of about 2-3 yards on the play. It's a second down and 13.
Second and 12.
I got you. It's okay. You're there. Feel under my wing.
The wind beneath my wind.
I want to not wear pants. Oh, I remember because mine are soaked. Because I wore my.
Second and 12. Motion on the play for Trahan, and Trahan will get a touch here on the left side. John Trahan going over the defense, getting a few yards, getting in the play, possibly 3rd and 9.
Ball gives to Trahan, picks up.
Well, there we go. Trahan got a touch. Just talking about him all the time.
Maybe a strategic move by Creasy to try and get the sophomore moving through.
Yeah.
It's now 3rd down and 9 for the Knights. Ball snapped. Hall scrambling around, tosses it. There's Trahan with the ball, weaving through. Trahan has got open field on the left side. John Trahan is all the way into the end zone. But if there's a flag thrown, actually ruled he stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line. There is a flag on near the Bowling Green sideline. So there is a flag on the play, and Trahan stepped out of bounds at the 11, waiting on the official to give us the word. A good effort by Trahan to just weave the defense.
I mean, that just shows still the talent that they got. I mean, it looks like they've probably been holding them back. You know, that might be their secret weapon.
It's a personal foul against the offense, number 55. Not sure who they called that on. See, 55 Gus Hill is who they called it on there. I'm not sure what the personal foul was, but they bring that ball back.
I saw the ref throw that thing with urgency.
Touchdown is negated. Personal foul.
The penalty is enforced from the spot of the foul. So Trahan with a big gain there, unfortunately voided.
And you can't take anything from Trahan. That was amazing.
His big rush avoided there, but was able to
He'll be 3rd down.
show his name in tonight's game. 3:24 left in the 3rd quarter.
I want to know, though, what happened.
Yeah, the referee just said personal foul on the offense, number 55. Did not give a clear indication of what that personal foul was. I believe he's still in the game, so nothing
ejection-wise.
Yeah, nothing ejection-wise, which is always good, but it's now 3rd down. The referees are trying to make sure they spot the ball properly, or the down markers, because the chains crew moved it.
Yeah, hopefully the chain gang in this game won't get into it sideline like at FCA and CCF.
Yeah, I heard about that. One of the chain gang guys shoved off the FCA coach,
I was
Steve
about to say, I
Adams.
thought we were going to have like a halftime boxing match in between a coach and a chain gang.
I would have called it if I were there. Right hook Adams, linesman left hook. It's 3rd down and 7 after the personal foul.
I'm getting 55 out of 3:24 left.
here for got it sorted out. It's going to be third down about 8. Something at the 50. I'll go plenty of those calls.
Here's Hall in the shotgun. The man who was right. Riley Hall, toss on the left side, overthrown. Looked like he was throwing to no one there. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th down. It's 4th down for the Knights.
Cold day. Cold string of days.
Yeah, cold string of days. Probably the championship. We're gonna bring some gloves and some.
I'm gonna bring a jacket on top of a jacket.
Bring some pocket warmers too.
Yeah.
Probably the championship is gonna be cold next week at
Heated
Bell Buckle.
blankets.
Yes. It's too bad the Heat isn't in the playoffs. And one of the stupid jokes. Timeout called by Riverside. 3:17 left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's a 26-8 lead for the Warriors.
Let's pickle Rick for Halloween. At a Christmas Halloween.
Here's a pass by Hall on the right side to Trahan. Trahan trying to get the 1st down. I believe he'll get it and more. Stopped at the 35-yard line. A big move for Riverside as the clock is stopped and the Knights are marching down the field.
I'm telling you, man, you can't leave Riverside out of it. Their coaching is, they have great coaches on the sideline. Top coaches are keep fighting until the end of the season.
And the Knights of Riverside, Travis Creasy has managed to lead his team to 1 victory on the season so far. Unfortunately, their string of losses being broken only last week, the week that required a clinching of the playoffs for multiple other teams. And unfortunately, Riverside out of the playoffs. Not even eligible for the bowl game is Trahan going up the middle. John Trahan weaving through, and he's going to be brought down at the 16-yard line. The Knights are in the red zone.
Trahan wants it. I mean, he wants to get this W, and he's showing the heart that you need to see in one of your leaders.
Under 3 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter.
You know what's about to happen? First down. It's going to happen again.
Ball snapped, handed off. Klein on the right side is brought down for a gain of about 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7.
It's good. You know, they got them big guys just to make, even if there's not a hole, he's just run behind you. You're going to get about 2 yards just because your offensive line is bigger than everyone else on the field.
It's actually called 2nd down and 6. A gain of 4 yards on the play for Klein. I formation again for Riverside as the clock winds down.
Trahan, seeing how well he's been doing this drive.
And they fake it. Hall takes the ball. Hitting the Warriors defense anticipated that play for a huge loss. It'll be about 3rd down and 11. A loss of a yard on the play for the Knights. Loss of about 6 yards on the play for the Knights.
I think I almost called that correctly. I think it was going to Trahan on that play.
3rd and 9. Hall again pitches it to Klein. Klein trying to stay on his feet, and he's brought down. So it'll be 4th down and 6. Actually, about 4th down and 7.
Oh. Got a guy on the ground.
Looks like we have a Riverside, actually looks like a Warriors player down on the field.
Come on, get up, Duncan.
It looks like Duncan is down on the field for the Warriors. Injury timeout.
Come on, get up.
He's broke his leg 2 years.
So Duncan on the sideline, he's being looked at just taking a break, but good to know that he walked off and is at least good enough to walk up there. Muffed, snap, picked up by Riverside, and it's a turnover for the Warriors. 49.2 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. So the Warriors take it over.
Not quite enough for the 1st down. The ball will go over to Bowling Green Warriors. It'll be 1st and 10 from about 12 yards.
Cold day. I mean, this is probably the first really, really cold game. So it might be getting to their hands, not being able to grip the ball fully. But once the adrenaline kicks in, you forget about any pain.
Yeah, once you have your pregame drills and such, most of the cold weather is set aside to try and focus on the game itself. It's 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Brown in the shotgun with motion on the play. Holman hands it off. There goes Baird. Left side. Baird loses the ball out of bounds. I'll spot this on the 17-yard line. So a good gain on the play.
Probably the more favorable weapon for Spencer Baird is the stiff arm.
Yeah, Baird has used the stiff arm.
Ask Spencer, what weapon would he take in the zombie apocalypse? My stiff arm.
Baird has certainly used the stiff arm throughout the entirety of the game. It's like maybe one of its best weapons, as Trent mentioned.
He takes them into war.
If a war comes around soon, we'll be
he'll just be running through the front line, stiff arming everybody.
40.5 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. As Brown rushing on the right. He's going to go towards the sideline, and he's going to be hit out of bounds. It stops the clock again. 2nd down and 4.
Knocked out of bounds by Crutcher Easdale. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, let's talk a little bit of playoffs here, Trent, as we look at the rest of this game here. So, the consolation, we have the match of the co-champions of 2016, the Webb School and Franklin Christian Academy. They unfortunately did not expect to face each other in the consolation game, but they're certainly looking forward to doing one last game on their season, as both of their franchises will go into their rebuilding years, losing a lot of crucial seniors.
But I don't think it's going to be as exciting as the CCS SCA game. I think we're going to see a more exciting game like that in a long time.
Yeah, as the end of the 3rd quarter has come upon us, it's 26-8. The Warriors leading over the Knights with 12 minutes left to go. Here's this first play of the fourth quarter. It's a rush up the middle. It's a fumble, and Riverside recovers it. Looks like Izell made the recovery. One of the Warriors is down. I believe that was John Stock on the carry who made the fumble, unfortunately.
About the 22-yard line. Warriors down on the field.
John Stock, unfortunately, is down. The wind has picked up here in Fayetteville. We have an injury timeout here.
Okay, I'm not.
So John Stock will be looked at on the sideline as the game resumes on first down and 10 for Riverside after the turnover. Here's Hall on the left side, toss, and it is incomplete. But there is a flag on the play. They're going to call this pass interference.
That's a flag on the field.
That was the right call. Never looked back.
It looked like there may have been some light contact between both players there, but they're going to call this pass interference here, Trent.
And that was a good call, man. You could see he got his hands on him, and he didn't ever look back. So
managing to get some hands on him there.
Nothing. Bowling Green, they didn't want that to slide.
Pass interference against the Warriors. Be half the distance to the goal.
So they'll move it half the distance to the goal. It's an automatic first down on the 11-yard line. And here's Hall on the left side. He's going to take the rush. Hall pushes through. Stopped at about the 7-yard line.
Left picks up about 4 yards.
Second down and 6.
After the play, there's some scuffling and some laundry on the field.
Looks like they'll throw a flag on Riverside. Some unsportsmanlike conduct happening here. So it's going towards the end of the game. It was on 33 of Riverside. Riley Hall called for the personal foul.
That's something you see a lot of.
Yeah, you push it all the way back to the 23-yard line for Riverside, so they're on second down and more than 20.
Yeah. You know, I've never really seen Hall show emotion like that.
Yeah, it's one of the things you don't see Riley Hall as unsportsmanlike as you would think, but second down and long. Riverside trying to get another score here. Here's a rush. Trayan. Gain of several yards on the play. He'll get down to the 20-yard line. Third down.
Did you see?
Didn't see.
Klein
What
and
did you see?
Stock collide?
The collision by Klein and Stock, it looks like. Third down and long for the Knights.
Oh, stop. The wind stopped. I feel warm.
Don't jinx it as the wind picks back up. And there's Trahan on the left side, intercepted! Picked by Presemeyer. Stopped at the 19-yard line. That's a pick interception for the Warriors.
Dang, I feel that's not good for Riverside right there. All that momentum they had building up to that just all went away right there after that one play. Man, senior, possibly his last game. He'll remember that play. See if Riverside can make a stop, get the ball back. I mean, they've had 2 forced
timeout
fumbles.
Called by Riverside. So with 10:19 left to go in regulation, the Warriors lead the Knights.
Nice taker.
$10:19 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Warriors on the 1st and 10 after the turnover. Ball handed off. Here's number 10 for the Warriors, Duncan Woosley, on the right side.
And one thing we need to point out, Gage has been on the sideline for a little while. Hope he's not injured or nothing big has happened to him.
Hopefully we'll see him back in the game sometime later.
Yeah.
So we're under 10 minutes left to go in regulation. Second down and 5. Here's a pitch on the left. Here's Stock trying to get some gain here, and he's brought down by several Riverside players for a loss of about 6-7 yards.
Yeah, Riverside's showing up right now.
And Riverside trying to make a stop here and keeping their hopes alive and potentially winning this game, but it's a long way for them to go with just 9 minutes left.
Riverside's had a scoreless half so far, so maybe something will happen.
Third down and 10. Brown, toss up the middle. It's caught. Baird out of bounds in Knights territory. A big first down for the Warriors.
Coming off an ankle injury, he's been out for about a week or two. Coming off of an ankle injury, and he's performing like nothing happened. A reliable guy.
Yeah, Baird being out for about, like you said, 1 to 2 weeks. Playing in his last game of the season. The Warriors are on first down in just across midfield.
Freezing cold. Feels kind of like a nice bath.
You've had ice baths before, Trent?
Oh yeah, college after every practice.
Incomplete pass intended for Stock.
After every practice in college, you had to go hop in the ice bath for 15 minutes. You should have. I've never seen so many grown men be so scared of something.
You know, seems like, at least with the cold weather continually going here, because it's been more than 15 minutes, an ice bath would seem fine, but not.
It might be warmer than this.
And you're actually right. It might be warmer than what we're experiencing right now. The negative wind chills. 8:24 left to go in regulation. Brown. Toss across the middle, intended incomplete. Intended for Riley Davis.
Brown looking for stop, just a little bit high off the fingertip.
I feel like one thing that Bowling Green needs to work on in the season with Tanner Brown is that they should, make him get his. He likes to loft the ball over, it seems, and not just try to get it right to his wide receiver's hands, and that'll probably be something that Coach Brown and the coaching staff at Bowling Green will work on.
It's 3rd down and 10 here for the Warriors. Ball snapped. Brown in the shotgun trying to get the pass across the middle. It's caught by Baird and missed tackle. He'll get the first down and more. Huge gain for the Warriors on another 1st down and 10.
The Warriors at about the 36-yard line of Riverside.
Clock running down with 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes left to go.
Man, I wonder if we're going to see Gage get back in the game at all.
It's possible. I think he may just be on the sidelines there. He might possibly
And his
be
helmet
done.
is off. So.
Yeah, he might be done for the game.
No, but he's had a great season so far.
Here's Brown again. Rushing. Tripped up in the backfield. Maybe a yard gain on the play or no gain at all. 2nd down for Bowling Green Christian Academy.
Riverside's making their stands. Just Bowling Green's having them 1 or 2 plays where they just forget to put some guy on a coverage, and they got to get their best guy on Baird. Baird doesn't look like the #1 wide receiver on Bowling Green, but he's showing it tonight with Riley Davis not being here.
It's
being
like
present.
about 2nd down and 9. So if Riley Davis is watching right now, he may be thinking he could have improved this game for the Knights, as there's a scramble by Tanner Brown on the left. Brown going up the middle. Gain of about a yard on the play. Is 3rd down and long.
Yeah, it just seems like Bowling Green's lost their mojo, because the Bowling Green's marching up the field, and that could be with Gage going out being a key part of their offense.
Looks like a 5-yard penalty on the Warriors. I believe it was either a false start or illegal formation on the Warriors, so it'll move it back 5 yards. So the ball is spotted. It's 3rd down and 9. 6:23 left to go in regulation and winding down.
Correction, the penalties declined.
Actually, they have declined. The Knights declined the penalty, so it's 3rd down and 9. So clock winding down. Ball snapped. Fake pitch. Here's Stock. That's actually not Stock. That's Duncan. Woosley is tripped up very much in the backfield. The Knights tripping him up there.
Riverside is doing great on containing that inside. It's just they're having a bit of a trouble with just Baird, and when Gage was out on the field, just Gage cutting on the outside. But Riverside, I would say so far they're winning the 2nd half. Even if the scoreboard doesn't show it, which actually it is, because it's 0-8 in 2nd half.
At least Riverside holding the Warriors offense to only 8 points this half, but fortunately not able to hold them in the 1st half. The Warriors have the lead here with 5 minutes left in regulation. Here's Across the middle, incomplete pass intended for Baird on 4th down and long. So the ball is going to be turned over. Riverside has possession with 5:04 left to go.
So, Spencer, I'm going to let you do this because you usually do this to me. What does Riverside have to do to get the W on this game?
At this point, with an 18-point difference, it's hard to see. It's just from what we've seen in this game. I mean, the defensive line for the Warriors has been really dominant. They have not let much slide past them except for that one touchdown. That one touchdown towards the end of the first half. So it's hard to see Riverside pulling out of this game with a W, and at least good on them to get this game scheduled in the week of the semis, of course, to get one more game for the
Because originally this game wasn't even being played right now.
Nope.
We'd be sitting at home playing video games.
We'd be in the warmth right now. I wouldn't say it's necessarily better, of course, as Trahan goes up the middle, avoiding several tackles. Jared Trahan all the way up to the 45-yard line. There's a first down there for Riverside. Under 5 minutes left.
Hard running from Trahan right there.
Yeah, Trahan just avoiding several tackles, colliding with a few players. So the Warriors trying to hold Riverside only to 8 points on this game.
Excuse me, everybody.
And here's Trahan, just muffs the ball a little bit, going on the left side, avoiding some tackles. There's Trahan with a big collision on Stock. Goes to the 43-yard line. It's now 2nd down and 7.
A little over 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Lights are still on at the concession stand, folks.
Well, that's usual from Stock. Bringing, that guy was a nail. Stock was a hammer.
Under 4 minutes left to go. Just to let you know, at about 2 minutes left in the game, depending on what the situation is, we will head down to the field so that we can get the post-game handshakes as well as the interviews. So at about 3 minutes, we'll mute the microphone and head down there, as it's 3rd down and 4 for Riverside. Here's Trahan handing it off. Immediately met by Stock. That's a rush attempted by number 8 of the Knights, Crutcher Zell, trying to take the rush there, but immediately met, and it's 4th down and 3.
I think probably one of Stock's biggest hobbies is just destroying people, and he hits them. I didn't really see anybody hit that hard and just that lethal.
A big tackle there for Stock, as another slip there by Zell, and just short of the 1st down marker, so it's a turnover on downs. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to mute the broadcast and we're going to head down to the field. It's a turnover on downs, Trent. So we're going to head down to the field so we can get the post-game handshakes and warm up. So we'll be there in just a few moments. Minute 34 left to go in regulation. It's 26-8. The Warriors leading it.
No.
The Warriors leading against the Knights. The game just being wrapped up here.
We can get the best footage.
Yeah, this is the best angle on the sideline here.
Warriors! Crazy fans.
Yeah, there's some crazy fans on the sideline, of course. As there's a toss by Brown, it is caught. There's Baird just out of bounds, slipping on his feet at the 49-yard line.
Spencer's an all-star.
That's one of our last year all-stars.
There's a minute 24 left to go. There is a timeout called by, I think, or actually there is an injury. Spencer Baird is down on the field.
Oh, no. Get up. Get up. Please just be a cramp. Please just be a cramp. Hey,
That's a rat hot.
what kind of Gatorade is that?
124 left to go in regulation. Wishing we had some hot chocolate right now in the cold night here in Riverside.
Ooh, look at that burger.
Or in Fayetteville at Riverside Christian Academy, Knights Stadium here.
It looks like they're going into victory formation. This is going to be it.
Yep, it looks like the Warriors just trying to wrap up the game here. They kneel it once and probably two more times to call it a game.
It's cold. Well, it looks like Bowling Green's going to finish the year with 3 wins.
Yeah, Bowling Green will finish with 3 wins.
Not just 3 wins, ending the game with a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, 3-game win streak for the Warriors, ending their season. And Riverside will only have 1 victory on their season, unfortunately. They went from 2013, they were Division II champions of MTAC.
2012?
They had 2012 and I believe 2013. They had back-to-back years of Division II, while Division II was in existence in MTAC, and possibly college as well. Who knows?
And that's the game.
And that will end the game. The Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors victorious over the Riverside Christian Academy Knights, 26-8. Now that's a final shot of the scoreboard over there, if you can see it on the lights. Yep, and the final seconds wind down. All right, and officially it hits those zeros. That's ball game. So we'll head onto the field, get the post-game handshakes, huddles, and we'll get the interviews with Coach Creasy of Riverside and Coach Brown of Bowling Green.
Coaches, we should point out.
Yeah, that's right. Both of them all-star coaches from last year. Yep.
Still cold, doesn't it?
Hey guys.
Coach, we appreciate the way y'all play the game. We love y'all's program. Appreciate y'all coming down here. We'll make a return trip next year. We'll get together on that. Appreciate you guys. I pray for safety home. Love the way you play the game. Y'all got a great coach. You got a great program. And I think y'all know that. If you don't, you should.
I appreciate those kind words. It's very, very nice. And I like to say the same thing. You guys play with class. You guys shut us down second half. You guys kept hitting. Kudos to 33. Tough dude. Awesome. Hope you guys make the all-conference team 25-33. Hope you guys make that. I voted for you guys. So best of luck to you guys. You guys are in a building program. You know, you guys don't look like a one in whatever team. You don't look like it. So thank you for having us.
So we'll get the interviews with Coach Travis Greasy and Coach Don Brown in just a few moments.
Hey, let's go over here, guys.
So we'll get both coaches' interviews in just a few moments. This is the last time we'll see either franchises for 2017. We'll see them next year in 2018.
Let's get on with it. That guy got injured too much.
We'll get both coaches momentarily. The Riverside guys heading to the other side of the field.
Shot of that.
And shot of the Riverside logo
down,
there.
It's like an 8.
Yeah, it does look like an 8. Hey, 8-man extreme.
Yeah.
That's an upside down 8. So the Riverside logo is an upside down 8-man extreme.
Look at my hands. They're getting red.
Yeah, my hands
Just
are
a little
getting,
bit of chitter chatter until they get over here.
Yep, our hands are getting red. We're gonna enjoy some good talks and good trying to keep warm inside at our post-game meal, wherever that is.
Yeah. Please, no pictures if y'all seeing us in public.
Yeah, if you see us in public, please no pictures. We'll sign autographs, of course, but no selfie requests, please. You know, I was told
no
once.
Flash photography.
No flash photography. Hey, Trent, I was told once. I don't know if anyone's told you this. They probably haven't. But someone told me once. You really have a face for radio.
Nah.
That's a good thing no one's told you that. Someone said that to me at one point.
Was it James?
No, I don't think no. James may have said it after I told him that. He's like, well, I agree, maybe, but he is not the one who originally said it.
Oh, well, it's chilly.
Yeah, chilly may describe
Pretty cold. What else can we talk about?
Yeah. Well, the championship that we have next week between Christian Community and South Haven. South Haven with their first championship appearance in franchise history in MTAC, and Christian Community looking for their third title.
Second year.
Only their second year being in MTAC, and Christian Community looking for their third championship title in their entire team's history or MTAC history. So both teams have a lot at stake. They know what's going into it, and Christian Community also wanting to cap off a perfectly undefeated season that South Haven has the chance to upset them with.
Yeah, I mean, is South Haven upset Christian Community?
They have the opportunity to keep Christian Community from having an entirely perfect season, which would be the first time in their school's history.
Yeah, I mean, me hating South Haven, but I hope it's a really good game. I hope it's going to be really close. I imagine X is going to get a whole lot of touches that game.
Potentially will. And The Bowling Green huddle is about to finish here. Riverside, there, Travis Creasy still talking to the players. The other side there as well. So we'll get the coaches over here in just a moment. We got Don Brown, who's going to be coming on camera here. There are probably people watching right now. Otherwise, they'll go back and watch the end of the season. Now, I probably should have taken your offer for gloves because my hands are turning red right now. Now, Coach, you have won 3 games in a row to end out your season. You know, unfortunately, 5-4 record. You would have definitely wanted to be in the semis or at least even the bowl game for MTech, of course. But what do you tell your younger guys going forward after this game, or at least those who will be returning to football next year?
I'm just proud as I could be of them. They learned they're a different team than they were at the beginning of the year, and they caught on to the system, they caught on to assignments, they played fundamental football, and we improved over the year. So they're better. We're just learning from this season. You know, we're going to get into the off season and lift some weights and come back next year. The good news is, for us, starting tomorrow, it's a clean slate. So we're going to get after it for next year.
Yeah, all opportunity to improve for you guys as well as for Riverside. When you guys met to schedule this game, what was sort of the talks that you had between your teams when you decided we're going to have a game the Saturday after the playoffs and such, just for one last game?
Well, we were going to either do it Friday or Saturday, and just because our kids had a school trip, we couldn't do it on a Friday. And after the Lighthouse game, we were ineligible for the playoffs. We knew that Riverside was ineligible. And so I called up Coach Creasy, and him being the gentleman that he is, he said, "Yeah, we'll play you." So we offered for him for us to come down here for this game, and then beginning of the season, he's going to come up and visit us. So
it's a very good chemistry between your two franchises and a lot of sports that we saw tonight. But thank you so much. Yes, Creasy.
They got a good program, and watch out, couple years from now, they're going to be dominant.
And potentially will. Thank you so much for all your contributions, Coach, and we'll see you next season. Okay. So we'll get Coach Travis Creasy on camera in just a few moments. He is talking a lot with the players over there. So we'll get him in just a few moments. You can see the camera shot here of Riverside at the other edge of the field. We're waiting to get Creasy. So let's start moving in over there, Trent. Let's get the...
Hey, everybody.
What is up, guys? Tech Racks here. It's like one of those YouTubers like, what is up, Tumblr Nation? You think we have hypothermia after this, Trent?
Well, if it didn't happen from yesterday, I'd say no.
That's good. That's a pretty good sign. So we'll get a shot of Riverside here. Creasy talking to his guys. They're about to end their post-game huddle here. And of course, some seniors on the Riverside team. This is their last time to play football for the Knights squad.
It's a sad time. I mean, I wasn't able to play my last game, and it just hurt me having to watch my guys lose that game.
Yeah, I'm sure you. Now, let me ask you, Trent. I know that some people have their differing opinions on this, and different people have, their take on it. But if you had considered the opportunity, would you have transferred to another school to try and be in the playoffs?
Transfer to another school in MTech?
Yes.
Well, looking back at it, seeing that Pleasant View ended their program, and that's the only reason why I stayed there was for football. The only reason why I stayed at Pleasant View was for football, and seeing that they ended their program this year, I probably would have if I had a second chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you had several schools in MTech that you could have transferred to near where you are, or at least near Pleasant View.
But that's just because I want to be with a program that respects football and it doesn't act like it's trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Creasy will interview Creasy in just a few moments. He'll be here momentarily. Riverside guys, just get Creasy giving all of his last words to the seniors and to the rest of the players there for ending the season.
It's a sad moment. You work this far to get where you are during the season in practice, and after when they walk off and get in their cars, it's the last time. Some of them, last time ever, they get this feeling of being under lights on the field with other brothers and companions, some of those guys aren't ever going to get that feeling again. So this is the reason why I get so emotional in these times. And you know, it's hard to walk off. I mean, I had a teammate, his name was Chitwood. He didn't take off his pads till 2 days after Friday.
Man, that's crazy. That's pretty interesting to think of. Some players are deeply emotionally involved in the game, and that's a pretty significant thing to show how football does move us as a society. It does move not just people, but it moves players as well, especially more so on the Riverside squad. So we'll get Coach Travis Creasy over here in just a moment. He's hugging all the players, and again, just a class act by Travis Creasy. Yeah, here he comes, Travis Creasy. Look, I know it's cold, but we got to get an interview with you, Coach. So we just had the interview with Don Brown. He did give compliments to you guys of being a class act and such, and it's been known, you know, with Riverside being a class act. What did you tell your guys going into the halftime locker room with the score you're down by?
Well, we just, you know, we weren't playing as a team, really, and that's kind of been the story of the year. You know, you've got some guys who take criticism to the core personally and get upset about it, and then some that it doesn't mean much to them, and that's the definition of not being a team. And so we just went in and challenged the defense, and they came out and did a good job. They kept us in the game. I just wish that we could have stuck a few in there and gave them a little bit better fit. But Coach Brown and Bowling Green, we love those guys. Hate that we're so far away because they're such a good program. Of course, they produced this young guy right here. I mean, come on, they're like, he's amazing. So.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things we of course have to ask that long post-game huddle and such. I'm guessing it was just a speech to the seniors of their last time and such. What were you telling you guys in their final huddle of the season?
Well, I was complimenting the defense and coming out and playing the way they did and not giving up any points. But yeah, I mean, there are people who will look at the record and think, well, maybe that's not such a special group. But when you start the season with a full team and you lose one and it's not even anything to do with football, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, usually a 1-9 team, you're going to have guys who quit, going to pack it in, and none of them ever did that. And the seniors really didn't allow them to do that. And so in my mind, that makes them a special group that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Coach, congratulations on your season, at least getting one victory. We hope to see you next week.
We appreciate y'all coming and everything that y'all do. We know y'all put in a lot of miles for this conference, and we couldn't appreciate it more, and I'm just happy that y'all are here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. We'll see you next season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll sign us off here. That'll sign us off here from Fayetteville. We'll be ready for it. I'm close to keep them warm there. That'll close it out here from Fayetteville. The final game for Riverside and Bowling Green, 28-6. Bowling Green gets their victory. So we'll see you next week for the consolation and championship games live from Bell Buckle, Tennessee for MTAC. For James Shannon and Trent Legate, I'm Spencer Thompson. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next week for the consolation and championship games. Good night, everyone.